Hey, friends, welcome to Crypto Theology. I'm Michael Patton, and I can't wait to do some crypto theology today. Now, you remember crypto theology, what it's about, why I'm doing this. I got all kinds of other stuff that I do, all kinds of other theological things I do. I focus upon the theology program at Credo House and Credo courses, so many things. But this is something that I believe is neglected. It seems to be once you get into the more academic and scholarly realm of Christianity, of the church, of just, theology, it's like whenever you talk about some of these weird, let me give you an example. I had a guy whenever I was teaching one time, and all the people, we were talking about Satan, and everybody started to get very uncomfortable. And I started thinking, why is everybody's so uncomfortable? I mean, it talks about Satan in the Bible and demons. And while I'm talking about it, most of the people would confess and say that they believe in these things. But at the same time, it's not as if they ever believe that things are happening whenever people will tell them. It's the same with me too. I noticed this within myself. It was very hard for me. I mean, it's very easy to make the confession. Oh yeah, demons exist and Satan exists, and most people would say, oh, at least they did back then, and so at least there's a time. But now we're more sophisticated, and therefore they don't exist. And that's kind of the idea that's out there. But I had one guy just outright deny it and just say that they are something that the Bible, I believe the Bible, but I think it's something that the Bible tried to explain in its own way back then. But now that we are advanced enough, now that we know enough, we know that that isn't really true. And I'm very troubled by that kind of stuff because there is a spiritual world out there. There's a spiritual battle going on. There's a battle not against flesh and blood. See, flesh and blood, not against the things you see, can touch, can feel, but the spiritual principalities, the forces of darkness. In the heavenly realms, there's evil things that this passage tells us about. And so how is our battle against that? I'm not saying that we're supposed to be able to find things, but the things we talk about, I hope that most of us don't experience them, at least some of the bad things. But at the same time, some people do, and there is a reality out there. And whenever people have stories, you can't just write them off from a philosophical standpoint, from a theological standpoint. If you're an evangelical Christian, you have to engage this and really realize that there are things going on. And I also think, and I think Ed, I'm going to bring him in just a minute, but I also think Ed agrees with me about this, that it seems to be, there's a common saying out there right now that the veil is thinning. And what I mean by that is the veil between the physical world and the spiritual world is beginning to thin. And what that means is that there are more things happening now than ever. And that's a lot for me to say, because I normally don't say things like that. It's always been the same. Everybody's always thought the same. There are different things going on. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to bring Ed in because we've got somebody to introduce. Well, let me introduce him. Well, no, I'm going to bring Ed in and talk to you about it. Hey, Ed.
Hey, Michael.
Are you wondering why my hair is all messed up?
No, it looks the same to me.
Oh,
so
except you're not wearing. You're supposed to say your hair's all messed up because you haven't mentioned this.
Wait, stop. You ruined it. I was going to say, I thought you would be wearing your new cool crypto theology hat.
Yeah, well, I wore it earlier, just a little bit ago, and we were talking, and you didn't say anything about it. And I was kind of happy because I wanted to do it live and reveal it. But that is my crypto theology hat, and I also even made this cool thing for anybody because you know this is going to be a bestseller, so I have to put that up there. Everybody will want one of these,
at least one.
Right now, it's at the Credo Courses site because that's the only one that has something that's already created. But get your own crypto theology hat. It only comes in 2 colors. That's all I can find. Maybe one day it'll be better. But I actually like this hat. It feels good. It's a great hat.
Yeah, it looks good. I like it.
Although I don't like white. And you see the bill. The bill is.
Oh, I like that bill myself. I like the curved bill.
Well, you know how I get it curved like this to stay? Whenever I wash it, I put it in the dishwasher and put it just like this between the dishes things. I learned that from a friend.
Nice.
Yeah. So I just did that earlier
You
because
might want to hit that back in the dishwasher today because you got a dirty thumb.
Ed,
So,
how
can
are
you
you
hear?
how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing
Good,
good. I'm
good.
excited about this one. This is a big one, but
It is a big one. It is a big one.
still about 8 o'clock. But
Well, okay, let's see here. Let me uh, I'm gonna I'm gonna introduce this guy who we're talking about, and then you can just jump in at any time. But
okay,
I do have a picture. I've tried to get everything ready, and I'm obviously not quite ready. Okay, we're gonna be talking about this book right here. Let's see. Will it come up? Yes. Look at that. See? UFO of God. This is the story of Chris Bledsoe. Now, let me tell you also why we're doing this. Let me take that away. I don't know, Ed, if you saw this, but look at this. I don't know if you can even see it. I probably should have turned this into a picture, but if you look real closely, look at what is number one in religious faith.
yep, bad
Number
category,
one in religious faith.
miscategorized, but
That is, well, it's a religious faith, that's for sure. But
yeah,
I mean, it is. I mean, that this thing it just really surprised me. This book by Chris Bledsoe is what we're talking. We're just talking about his story. We read the book. We've been going through for the last couple of weeks, just storming the Bledsoe aisles trying to understand this because there's just so much, and there really is. It's a very interesting story, and one of the things that it does, Ed, is that it does basically it's kind of a good start for our crypto theology because it covers everything.
yeah, it does. It's probably got about 8 different topics that should have their own podcast in his story because
Yeah, well, his son does.
yeah, well, I've seen some of those.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here. The reason why we're doing this because I made a list the other day, and from orbs to aliens to demons to angels to prophecy to, I mean, it was just a big long list. And Ed brought up, he said, you know what, that this story we're doing covers just about every single one of
yep,
those.
yep, that's right.
And it
Yeah,
does. I mean, this
it
guy
does.
has gone through a whole lot. I mean, his life has been just absolutely overturned since 2007, right?
Yep,
2007.
2007. Yeah, yep.
And I mean, it's one thing after another. One thing I did forget to bring up was my videos. But Ed, start introducing some of the stuff that we're going to talk about. At least let's introduce the first thing and maybe
Okay,
go through the story a little bit. And I'm going to try to get a couple of videos at least ready.
okay, cool. Yeah, and so if you remember back when we did ufology, we talked a little bit about Beyond Skinwalker, right? Beyond Skinwalker
Yeah,
Ranch,
yeah, yeah,
and so the first thing I think that really got him really big in the media, at least, was episode 7 and episode 8 of Beyond Skinwalker, because episode 7 featured him, and then he was the episode, or maybe it was 8 and 9. Then he was a feature, like their most favorite encounter that they had during the whole season in the finale when they went over everything. And so I think that really boosted him up. And then when he came out with this book, he just recently, the podcast that you and I watched, um, this Danny Jones podcast. That's a big channel. He's got like 700,000 followers.
yeah,
So that
yeah,
thing's got about 1 million views right now. And
yeah.
so that this is just a background, right, for how he got so big. So that channel, I want to mention this real quick, that there's 2 channels, Danny Jones and another one called Julian Dory, and the 2 guys are friends. They've been friends for years. They both promote each other's channels, and they both cover a lot of weird things, everything from Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson, and they just let them go on and on and on about lost civilizations, things like that, and they tend to not push back on anything, and they always seem to be bringing up things that are controversial, but they
Yeah.
just go on with them, and so they have a lot of guys. They have a guys, but a lot of lost civilization stuff. But also, they both, and I'll tell you the story of how Bustamante, or how he Chris Bledsoe got onto the podcast. Was he's good friends with Andrew Bustamante, who's a really popular nowadays former, right, in air quotes here, former CIA agent. He's a regular on both of those podcasts. He's also one of the investigators on Beyond Skinwalker. So he's the one that recommended, that got Chris Bledsoe over to Danny Jones. And so it's one of those things where I'm not saying these guys are fake. They're highly entertaining. The podcasts are good. They're long form. They're usually 2.5, 3 hours, or in this case, even more. But they just kind of listen to just about everybody without ever pushing back at all. And they have the feel of they're trying to, you can listen and 90% of what they say sounds good. And then they always have this one little spot, like they're always defending intelligence agencies. Well, we have to have secrets for national security, things like that. So anyway, so the Chris Bledsoe himself, the story, when I first watched this podcast, I was blown away. And he's a very likable guy. He's a good old boy.
Yeah.
If you watch the video, you got to watch it in at least 1.25 speed, because he talks very slow. But so his story
and
was amazing.
Which video are you talking about there?
I'm talking about the one that we referred to a lot. The one that I sent links to, the Danny Jones podcast.
Okay, so Danny Jones, we're going to be talking a lot about this Danny Jones podcast, so you can go over there and listen to that as well. We're going to bring up some of it, but that's a good place to go to kind of see the full story.
Right. It's a very good synopsis of the book. One thing I do want to mention, though, is that we're going to be going over this in a lot of detail, as much as we can today. But if I have to say that if everything this guy said is true, which I'm not saying it is, because I have a lot of doubts, right?
Yeah.
I believe he experienced a lot of stuff. I just, doubt some of the validity of it. But if everything he says
but
is
you
true,
believe he believes it's true, though.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not as if we're not saying he's lying in any sense.
No. I mean, he's told his story so many times. He has little inconsistencies, but I would too. If we talk the same thing next week, I would say things a little bit differently, right?
Yeah.
So you got to be fair. But if it's all true, not just that he believes it, but that it's actual fact, then it's probably the most dangerous podcast I've ever heard, and the most because it's 100%.
It is. You're right. It is.
It's from
it's
the
most
Christian
dangerous story.
Yeah, because it's
he is a walking Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, he is, and he's like, if you ever needed a poster boy for the New Age movement, Gnosticism, spiritualism, all these things that are all, I believe, all connected together and all part of the end times that we talk, that we expect. I'm not saying we're in them, but there's a lot of deception coming from the spiritual world. And if his story is as true as he says, a lot of it's coming through his experiences.
Yeah. And it's hard as you're listening to this, folks. What you're going to do is you're going to see it's really hard to I mean, it's easy to come to quick judgments. Either, that didn't happen, that didn't happen. Or something like, oh, well, this guy is being led by Satan type stuff. Or I just want you to listen to it in the sense of, this guy has a story and we're listening to it and we're trying to evaluate it based upon our belief that number one, something happened. He's not making it up. So he did see something, and generally speaking, whatever he saw seems to be true. At least we believe that. Yeah. You'll have to make up your own mind on that. But we're going to try to interpret some of this stuff. So where do you think we should start, Ed? You think we should start with the lake and the orbs?
Yeah, but let me say one more thing real quick. I know I was rambling on there, but this guy, he started out down the MUFON path. And for anybody that doesn't know, that's Mutual UFO Network, right?
That's him there, folks.
And he started down that path, but they didn't really like him because it was everything he's talking about is spiritual, not physical. So
Yeah.
this whole thing is really
Well, he
about
didn't like MUFON either.
no, and really, and he had a Discovery Channel. We probably won't talk about that one episode back in 2008, and that's when things really got bad for him. But it was actually seemed pretty fair.
Yeah.
But the point is, so he got separated kind of from the alien and UFO people, worldly people, and he went more towards. But so then he got sucked into the government, and you've got everything from CIA, DIA, NASA, FBI, foreign countries, foreign governments, intelligence agencies, and things that are all interested in this guy. And so he really touches on all, and a lot of those guys are into the occult, Michael. I mean, that's Hal Puthoff and John Alexander, and I mean these are the guys that had the remote viewing program, back in the day. So they're into some weird stuff.
And well, let's listen to some of this first before we go.
I just want to get that out of the way because we're not going to go into every single person. But he ends up, he's like all military back now, not the UFO community, even though he still speaks at some of their conferences. So, okay.
Okay. So we start with the orb sightings, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we may as well
I've got a link. I got a link you sent me here with the orb sightings. Right. Should I use that? Would that be the best place?
Okay. Yeah, I think so. I tried to time them so we're not waste too much time.
All right, and this is real quick, folks. He does talk about having near-death experiences before this, but both Ed and I agree. I just think he thinks he had near-death experiences.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. His definition is not.
He doesn't know what it means.
Right. Yeah. His definition is I could have died. That's his definition.
I was close to death. I was near death. He takes it very literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to bring this up here. See where it plays. It should be playing somewhere. Set up the background for this. What I'm getting ready to do here.
Okay, so this is the beginning. This is the beginning of his story. Really, it starts back in 2007, in January of 2007. We're not going to go into his personal life. He had a lot of personal issues. He lost his business. We had a lot of financial problems and things. But he was taken. He had some guys working for him with his son. They finished up working, so they're going fishing. And this is where he's going for a walk because he's depressed about being broke and all the stress and everything, plus having Crohn's disease at the time. So he goes for a walk, and he ends up seeing these big orbs in the sky. And so he has an experience with them, which I won't go into a whole lot of it, but because you'll see it. But he has an experience with them. He's talking about it. But then he comes back to the camp, and he thinks he's only been going 20 minutes, but he's been gone like 3 or 4 hours. Okay. And his son's missing at that time. And then
so this is the beginning of it all, folks. This is the beginning of his story. This is the beginning of kind of the weird stuff that starts happening to him.
Right. Oh, you're not getting any audio, Michael.
That's not good. I'm getting audio.
Well, we can send everybody. We can just send everybody to your house then.
Yeah, that'll work.
Just go to Michael's house for the audio.
That'll work. I guess this is one of the things we should have tested, huh? Yeah, hold on.
How much fun can that be, though?
Let's see here. That didn't change anything, did it?
No.
Nope. Yeah, it did. Change something we didn't need to change.
Yeah, you're playing my mic on your speakers.
Yeah. I'm listening to it. It's really good.
Well, good. We'll just watch you watch it then.
Yeah. I'll just say it. Let me just say exactly what he's saying. All right, let's see if that gets that back at least. Let's stop this for a second. Okay, let's see here. Turn that off. All right, Ed, I'm not positive. I can edit this out later, but I'm not positive on what to do. Like I said, should have tested that.
Well,
What would it be doing?
the one thing you can probably do is in settings, you can probably change your audio input to your sound card while the video is playing. You'd have to change it back, but
In the settings on this
just yeah,
program on
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. Just press
restream?
S. Yeah, press the S key. Should bring up settings.
Are you talking about on restream?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, change. You click on settings, then you go to audio. Switch it
You're
from your
talking about
mic.
on my computer going to settings.
No, I'm talking about on Restream itself.
Okay, I'm just gonna click on it this way because
See, there's a little gear
that
icon.
should work.
Okay. Well, it shows that it works, so I don't know.
Okay, so video input, we've got
Now,
that.
go to audio, and then change your input on audio.
Audio, okay,
Audio input. Change it from your microphone
okay.
to your sound card.
Don't have a song card listed.
Whoa, that
I
seems weird.
have default microphone, which is this,
Right.
and then you got my headset, which are these. You've got my digital audio interface, which is Cam Link 4, which is the camera, and then you got a Droid Cam. That's the camera up there, and then you got this again. So that's all I got.
Oh, that's weird. I can see the sound card on mine.
Echo cancellation, noise suppression must be disabled to use stereo. High resolution audio, audio gain control, noise suppression, echo cancellation.
This is weird because you did this when you threw in that little alien video.
That is true.
Because that
It
was a
did
funny
work
video.
before.
Mm-hmm.
Alien video. Let's see here. I pulled that up. Did I do it the same way? Did it look the same?
You
Did
started,
it look like this?
yeah. I believe so. I don't remember. I just because I was looking at the video, but I think it was like that. But you had it loaded when we started
Okay,
that
see
episode.
this. Listen to this. Whenever I hear it, I hear you. I hear you on my computer because you're coming from the computer,
Mm-hmm.
and I hear this because it's coming from the computer. You can hear me because it's just me talking.
Right.
Therefore, I have to change the audio input. Maybe I just change it on the settings on the computer, right?
Well, you can do. I guess you can do that. You can go down to your sound card, pick.
Wait a minute. I'm pushing it through OBS. So let me try one thing real quick, okay? Audio
Okay.
input capture. I'm going to do advanced properties. I'm going to go monitor, monitor, monitor and output, monitor and output, monitor and output. I don't know which one is the right one. Okay, let me try. Now I hear myself, but if I have to do that for a second. Sorry, folks. Ed's fault. Okay, see if you hear this.
Okay. No, I don't.
No?
No, I don't hear it.
Why did it change down here? Now we're in different places.
Wait, what do you mean?
What in the world?
Oh, is it changing on you? I thought that was just changing on my side.
I'm not doing that.
No, I am. I thought it was just changing on mine though.
Oh. Okay, so you can't hear.
No.
Okay, that didn't help. Close. Oh, I think I got an idea. Testing, okay. No?
Nope, still nothing.
See if this one has an individual. No, it doesn't. All right, I'm going to add an output. Add audio output. Okay. Default. Okay. Okay, I think I figured it out. I think I got it. I don't know
Select
which
cycle.
one of these this is. I think it's this one. So audio input capture. Audio output. Does that do anything?
Well, you're not playing the video, so I can't tell.
No. Yeah, it probably won't because it's not coming through here. Audio output capture. This is the thing I used right here. Problem is, it's pushing through my OBS, and I don't know. Windows capture, audio input, testing, testing, testing. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Ed, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, I was muted. I was looking for help. But you probably have to disable the OBS.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I can't disable the OBS, and I can't figure out why.
Yeah, I can. Well, it's in Device Manager. It creates
No,
a
no, no.
separate.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that nothing works if I don't use OBS on the virtual camera. And I don't know. It used to work fine. Then one
Okay.
day it just changed.
Okay.
All right. We may just have to start later again and
Yeah. Well,
try to figure this out because these video clips are what we base this all on.
yeah, yeah. We can't go forward without that. And at least on YouTube, we're the only ones on there. So.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna shut us down live, folks. I am sorry about that. I'm gonna work on this for a little bit, and we'll start again from the beginning
Okay.
as soon as we get this figured out. Sorry, I mean it's live and learn on some of this stuff.
Yep.
All right.